before we moved, my husband did something like that, but for photography. So like he shared a space with a bunch of other photographers.
Okay. Yeah, it's cool that everyone else is a lot more professional than I am. Like they're like, oh, I left a mic or like amp or whatever in the studio. Please feel free to use it. Like if anyone wants it. And I'm like, oh, I left a jar of pom-poms in the studio. Feel free to use it.
Yeah, share the wealth, right? Hey guys, as you come in,
hi everyone.
Let us know if our volumes are pretty equal or if you need one of us to be louder or softer. I think only I can adjust my volume, but I can match Eliza. So let us know.
Okay.
All right.
I can't see the chat.
That's okay. I have it up.
Because I don't. Okay, cool. I lost my phone.
Do you still not have a phone?
So I had a phone and then I lost it. Yeah, I know.
Wait, you had another one and you lost. Wait, your phone broke.
So my phone was broken and I was waiting for ages for a replacement. I got my replacement. It was all good. And then I lost my phone yesterday, which is the first time I've lost my phone since I was like a kid. But it's really lost.
Oh no, you poor thing. That would kill me. That'd drive me crazy.
Oh gosh, it's so stressful. But yeah. Fingers crossed. I have a few places that I can call to see if I left it there, but I haven't done it yet because they opened at 8. Because I like might have left it at a bar that I was in yesterday, but they only opened they didn't open until the evening, so I couldn't call them or like go in to ask.
Oh man.
So that's why I can't see the chat.
Well, we don't have much going on yet. We have a couple. Hi JH, hi Mr. Andy, there will be spoilers on this, so just so you're aware. Okay, everybody says we both sound good. I think we have a big lag. So, all right. What was I gonna say? Today we are discussing The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I love it. I have it too.
It's such a pretty book.
I know.
And I've got the hardback and like the actual like book itself is really pretty. And it's like printed on the sides.
I like that. Mine's like special edition and it doesn't have that.
Mine's anniversary edition.
Well, mine has a bird on it.
Oh,
I didn't know
interesting.
That. Okay. I like it. That's cute. So those joining us, we will be talking about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. We will be discussing the whole book. So if you haven't finished it or haven't read it and you don't want spoilers, I suggest coming back after you have read the book. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this felt like a long book. Did it feel long?
It is. Yeah, it was a long book. It took me like I started reading it on Monday. But usually I start reading the books like the day before book club. But I left myself a whole like 5 days to read this one. But I really enjoyed it.
I liked it too. I liked it a lot. I cried at the end.
Did you?
Yes. I don't know. I have complex emotions about Henry, which we can get into eventually, but the end made me sad.
Shall we do a little poll, like just to get a star rating?
Yes.
To get an idea of what everyone.
All right, I'm gonna do a poll. I'm going to give you, so we're going to do Goodreads scale here. I'm going to give you a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 2 because I can only do 4 options. If you want to rate it a 1, I want to hear that. So you need to actually write it in the comments because if you want to rate it a 1, I'd love to hear that. So the poll should be up. How many stars would you rate it?
I would rate it a 4 or possibly even a 5. The reason why I'm going to hold back on a 5 is because I always like love the book when I've just finished reading it. So I'm going to give it another like week or so and see if I still like feel this passionately about it. But yeah, I would say a 4 at least.
I am right on with you. I would say like right now I'm landing at like a 4.5, 4.75.
Yeah.
But I think it might settle to a 4 for me.
Yeah.
I have minimal complaints, but I do have some complaints.
I also have a few complaints. I have a few complaints. A few like actual like story complaints and a few like superficial complaints.
Yeah, me too.
But overall, like I was really engrossed, and I was like so. I think also because I read it so intensely. It was just like really on my mind. I was just thinking about it all the time. I like saw my boyfriend was telling me something, and I was like for a second thought that he was Henry, and I was like, well, why don't you just like, why is this a problem? Because everyone will like loves
Everyone
you
loves
because
you.
of the curse that you have with
Oh
the
my
devil.
God.
Like then I was like, oh wait, that's not real.
You got really sucked in.
I got really sucked in. I had dreams about it. It
Did
was
you
really,
really?
yeah, I haven't been
Oh,
like this like
wow.
obsessed with a book since Outlander. I don't know if you've read Outlander,
I
but
haven't, but I
this,
feel like I should.
it got me like in the same way that this book like got me.
Yeah. For me, I also really liked it. Like I felt very like engrossed in it, and it
Yeah.
held my attention really well. I actually listened to the audiobook and I really liked the audiobook. Um but it got kind of confusing for me because sometimes I would forget whether we were in the past or the present.
Yeah.
Um Especially with the audiobook because I can't just like flip back and quickly
Yeah.
reference. So I had to wait until I heard something that was like, okay,
Yeah.
horse-drawn carriage, we're clearly in the past.
Yeah, there were some things that confused me actually, like sometimes, or just like some scenes where I was like, I like didn't know where they were. And then they say
Mhm.
that it's raining, and I was like, oh, I thought that you were like in a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the bits in italic that she thinks like the dark, like the voices in her head or like the darkness.
Mhm.
At the beginning, I thought that that the darkness was talking to her.
I thought so until the very end of the book because there's nothing in the audiobook signifying that those are thoughts.
Yeah, okay. So that was really confusing as well.
Looking at the chat real quick, we have 6 votes and it's 50-50. People rating it a 5
Oh.
and a 4. So looks like we
Ooh,
have a lot of
good.
agreement. Brittany admired the book and said it is worth buying just to use as decor. Kent says
Yeah.
4.7. And Agent Marco said the dates at the start of the chapter helped, which they definitely
Yeah.
did. I would just forget halfway through what date it was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah, same. I would like look very briefly at the year and then would just
Mhm.
like carry on. And then I'd be like, oh, actually, it would be useful to know when this is exactly.
Yeah. So one thing like I had trouble with in the book, and it's not a criticism of it, it's like a personal thing I had trouble with, was just like the absolute existential dread that this book gave me. It's
Oh my
just,
God. Oh my God.
um,
The last week, like every day the sun is setting, when the sun sets, and it sets super early, like now in Scotland. And I'm like, another day's gone. Another day's wasted. Another day closer to death.
yes. Or on the other hand, it's like there's nothing new to look forward to.
Oh my God. No, I was very like, time is passing too quickly and I don't have
Yeah,
enough time to do all the things.
yeah.
I want
Uh,
to travel.
I think it's like almost you got Henry's side of it. I almost got
Yeah.
Addie's side of it, and I was like, I'm so alone.
Oh, no, I definitely got Henry's side of it. I've been getting really restless. I'm like, I need to do new things. I have to experience stuff.
How long did it take for you to like know that Henry was definitely cursed or had made a
I think it
deal?
was it was pretty straight away.
Yeah.
It was pretty straight
I was like,
away.
okay, so what deal did he make? What deal did he
Yeah.
make? And I
Yeah,
definitely
I
thought it. Oh, go ahead.
no, just that I think I like knew that it was something about being loved. like
Yeah,
pretty early on.
me too. Because like the way everybody looked at him and paid him special attention and stuff, I'm like, yeah, that
Yeah.
has to be.
And he said about like the milky frost, like the milky
Mhm.
gaze. And I think that Addie has said before, when the devil is like, when like the darkness is
Oh
commanding the
yeah.
people, then they have like the like milky like thing
Yeah,
over
or
their eyes.
they like go blank when
Yeah.
when he's commanding them to, or when she
Yeah.
tries to tell them her
Yes.
name or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you a question, but I forgot. You can ask your question.
Okay. So I pulled up some book club questions, and one that I really liked was so there's a quote. It says, I am stronger than your God and older than your devil. I am the darkness between stars and the roots beneath the earth. I am promise and potential. And when it comes to playing games, I define the rules. I set the pieces and I choose when to play. What did you make of Luke? Is he a demon, a god, a monster, or something else?
That's a good quote, and it's a good question. The writing
Yeah,
is like some of the writing is so poetic.
I know it really is. She even
Yeah.
uses like stanzas at some points almost, even though I
Yeah,
didn't.
sometimes it's like prose.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like the way that I really enjoyed the writing style.
I liked it too.
Um, yeah, I think he is a natural force. He
Oh, I like
is,
that.
yeah. So I guess a god, but
Yeah,
not, you know,
I'm leaning like towards like Eldritch God or something like a
yeah,
Lovecraftian God, because even if you look up pictures of like Eldritch God, it's all tentacles and darkness, and it's like that's kind of how he
yeah.
was described in his true form.
Yeah, but so then this was the other thought that I had. So if there's like, if you know, he's the darkness, he's a god. What other
Mhm.
gods are there? What other gods are there as
Right?
well? So
And
there must be other gods. And then why doesn't why doesn't he hang out with the other gods?
right, I'm so alone. Only this little human woman to keep me company.
I know. Like there must be other gods, surely, that you could like pass this time
Yeah.
with.
Oh, so hi, Jared. Thank you for joining us. And Jade says in the chat, Luke said he was the nurturer of all human potential. So
Interesting.
I'm almost wondering if, like, maybe we're giving him too little credit. Maybe he's like the god. But then if he's only at
Yeah,
night, like, somebody has to be during the day. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's night and day, and he's like the one that's control of all of
maybe.
night.
And so then they can't like see each other, you know?
Yeah, maybe he can't be friends with the other gods. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But then I don't know. I don't like that idea because I don't like there being like a binary good and bad, day and night.
No, me either. I
Like,
feel like he's one of many, and maybe he
yeah.
just like they just don't link up. I don't know, or maybe he doesn't like
Yeah.
them. They
Yeah,
suck.
maybe. Like yeah, because you know, like the well, she like prays to like the river gods and like
Mhm.
the but we don't know if they are like real gods.
Right. Like, because the only one we see or even hear of or see any effect of is
Yeah.
Luke. Agent Marco has a good comment. It seemed to me like he was more of a season or nature. All his descriptors were animal or nature. He always had a wolfish
Yeah.
smile. And I read online, and I didn't catch this because I'm not a linguist, but I guess like almost all of his last names mean the woods in different languages,
Oh,
like all the
yeah.
last names he
One of his
picks.
last names is Green. One of his
Yeah.
last names,
Okay. So maybe it's
I
not the
think,
woods.
is
Maybe they just
Wood.
have to do with yeah, they all have to do
Yeah,
with the
but then,
woods or something.
yeah, yeah, that's nice. That's a nice idea. And I like the like when you know she listens to his heart, like when she listens to, then she puts her head on his chest, then she like hears like the sounds of like the night,
Yeah.
like sounds like animals at night.
Yeah.
Although,
Um,
like, I so yeah, the thing about whether or not there are more gods, because her and Addie, because Addie and him, you know, were like together for like a
yeah.
decade or something. It was like a really long time.
Yeah.
Like, surely you're
It was over a
talking
decade.
about if you were gonna like hang out with the darkness, like the nature of the universe would be a pretty high up topic of
Right.
conversation, you would think.
Like I get that he wouldn't tell her stuff. He just liked to mess with her a lot. And I feel like he probably would never even tell her, or maybe she didn't trust it. But
Yeah.
wouldn't you ask, like, you're just going to have some sort of superficial conversation for over a decade?
I think that they did talk about it and Addie does understand, but the author's chosen not to tell us because that would be too much world building.
Maybe.
That's that's what I've decided. But yeah.
I liked his little fickle moods though. I don't know.
I do love the idea of like gods as being like
like a
all
petulant kid,
fickle and emotional and like
Yeah.
getting angry about stuff. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, he throws
I like that in Songs
grumpy
of Achilles
fit.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just felt like the gods being like having their like personal drama and
Just
having their
throws a
like temper
fit and
tantrums.
doesn't come back for 8 years.
Yeah.
The brat.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of their relationship? Like, or do you think it is like, do you think that they love each other?
I don't think she loves him. I think maybe she did briefly, but he hurt her so badly,
Yeah.
um, that I don't think she'll ever love him again. And like she said, I kind of agree with her assessment that he doesn't really know what love is. He just enjoys being with her because it's something new and interesting for him. I mean,
Yeah.
she's been around for 300 years. He's maybe infinite. Can you imagine how
Yeah.
bored he must be?
Yeah. Which also means that this time with her is like a drop in the ocean for him. Like
Yeah.
it's just it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that I do think that she loved him and then he hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he feels whatever he feels as a non-human
Yeah, it's
thing.
hard to say what he feels because we don't know what emotions he has, you
No.
know?
And he's not human and he's like he's the knight. Like you can't
But yeah, you can't really get a
expect
hold
him
on
to
that.
like have human
Mhm.
emotions.
Another thing, so talking about like when he hurt her, you know how he basically spent their decade together and then still asked her to surrender.
Yeah.
And do you, I'm trying to think of what I want to say, but do you think that he was manipulating her, or do you think he really didn't mean it the way that she took it?
I like to think. I don't think that the whole time that he spent with her was like a long ploy to get her
Yeah,
to surrender.
I don't think
I
so
do think that
either.
he enjoyed spending time with her. And I think that he knew that he would be like goading her. I don't think that he expected her to react as strongly as she did.
Yeah, I don't think he expected her to be hurt by it like that. And then
No.
it was almost like there was shock on his face for a second. And then she's
Yeah.
like, and then it drops off. Like the
Yeah.
shock was a ploy, but I don't think so. I think the shock was genuine. And then after
And then
that
he
was an
covered it
act
with, yeah. And
because it
then
was better
he
for
was,
him to, you know what we're going to say. It was better for
yeah.
him to be the aggressor in the situation than the one that is hurt or has
Yeah.
he needed the upper hand, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They're still like always playing this game.
Yeah.
And they've still like, they're both very proud and very stubborn, aren't they?
Yeah. Some good comments in the chat. JH says Luke said God wasted human souls by putting them on shelves. So I wonder too,
Oh
what
yeah.
what do you think he even does with the soul? He just disappears because he said you'll become nothing. But do you think that's a lie?
I thought that that was like that her without her soul becomes nothing, but that her soul lives on as his
Hmm.
possession. And we don't know what becomes of the soul. But you're not connected
Oh,
to your soul anymore, you know?
oh,
You are not your soul. That's what I understood from it. I don't know
gotcha.
what he does with the souls. Like, I imagined he's just like, I imagine that he's like decorating a Christmas tree with them,
Oh
and
my
they're just like
God.
all like sparkly things. But then that's true. If he says that like that God's wasting souls by putting them on a shelf, then that would mean that he's like doing something with them.
So I don't know why, and maybe chat, you can help with this because I don't know why, but I remember her being like, well, what happens when I die without a soul? Maybe
Yeah.
that's what you meant. She becomes nothing but her soul. I think he just absorbs it. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think that it gives him power? Like maybe he absorbs it, and
Maybe,
maybe that's why he's so powerful. And with every soul that he absorbs, and he becomes more and more powerful.
maybe. I want to know. I want
That
to
could
know
be a
more
thing.
about, I
Yeah,
don't
the
want,
law.
yeah. I actually wouldn't mind a sequel to this. Um, but I wouldn't want it to be about Addie. I would really like it to be, I don't know, could it be about Luke? No, I guess not.
Could it be
I
about
changed my
Henry?
mind. I'm over Henry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Henry's a bit. No, he's lovely, but he's a bit like
Just like
wet.
all
I
the
don't know.
women thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Henry.
No. Okay.
Oh, and I have a question about Henry. That now that he's alive, but does everyone still love him all the time? Or is he just like living normally? Like,
I
was
kind of
that
think
like,
he's back to normal,
I think so too.
right? I guess we weren't really clearly told, were we?
No.
Yeah, I like to think, or I do think he's back to normal. I think she saved him from the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not. Let's see.
I
Agent
liked
Marco.
the.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just from the chat, Agent Marco says, I like that he messed up on giving her eternal life and he never did it again in a deal. So yeah, Agent Marco says, I think he's just amused by his mistake. I could think definitely like
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. Him.
Yeah. He's like obsessed with her in a way. He's definitely obsessed with her.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. I
And
like
he's a real
how.
creep too. Like,
Oh, I know. And also, you're like this old eternal being. Leave this little girl alone.
yeah, yeah.
But that being said, I was like dying for them to get together. I was like, they're
Me
definitely gonna
too.
get together.
It was so funny because like when I first started, so I've been reading a lot of spicy romance books, like a lot.
Yeah.
And I read a lot of enemies to lovers. So when I started
Yeah.
reading this, I'm like, oh. But I
Yes.
didn't I didn't think it would be, I knew we wouldn't get it in that way, because
Yeah.
it didn't feel like a romance.
No,
Um,
I was disappointed. I was a bit disappointed with like how I did want her and Luke to live happily ever after. Like, I am disappointed with how it went. That Luke, isn't just a nice guy.
I know, like, right? She could change him. But you know what? Saying that, I am actually really happy with how it ended
Me too.
because I feel like it would have been kind of a cop out if after all of this, like Addie being so strong, so independent, she just loves Luke. Like she's okay
Yeah.
with everything he did to her. And
Yeah.
no, mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'm really
wouldn't
happy with
believe
how it
it.
ended.
Yeah.
And like like the game is still continuing. They're still like playing they're still doing their
Yeah.
war, their game.
Yeah.
Just now the rules have like changed. And I really like that because it's like, okay, it's what they've been doing for the last 300 years and they're going to keep doing it for
Yeah.
however long in the
I really
future.
like it too. And I like too that she's not telling him outright what she's doing. She's
Yeah.
just like, I'm just gonna annoy the hell out of him and he'll
Yeah.
get tired of me.
And he's like fickle and
Yeah.
he's got a bad temper, so he'll cave
Yeah.
easily.
But I think he'll always come back. Because I
Oh
don't think
yeah,
she's ever gonna
definitely.
give in. And he's never gonna like give
No.
up. So
They're gonna be doing this for all eternity.
and I like it. I like it. I don't
Yeah, me
know. I'm
too.
okay with it. And I think I'm okay with it because it doesn't seem like torture for Addie anymore.
No.
Um, it just,
Yeah.
I feel like she's strong enough. She's been through enough. Like,
Yeah.
this is a good
And
spot for her.
she like she needs the thing with Luke. She needs that like challenge to continue to be strong.
Yeah.
Like for her to be strong, she has to be fighting with Luke, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Especially without Henry now.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it would be hard for her to be alone again.
Yeah, I think so too.
Though maybe not as hard
Laptop
now that
charger.
oh no.
It's fine. We'll wait until it gets more pressing.
Just wait until it's an emergency. Why not?
Yeah.
Eliza.
That's just
Why do I feel like you wait until things are on fire before you do?
Yeah, I mean, because that's just how things work. I don't know.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's just the easiest way to do things.
Yeah, sure. We see, let's see. Luke's ego reminds me of a trophy hunter. It's the thrill behind the hunt, and then they lose interest. Oh, yeah. I think as soon as Addie stopped putting up a fight, really, he'd be like over it.
Yeah.
Even
that's
now,
why I don't think it's even now, it's not going to take that long.
Yeah.
For Luke to be over it, for sure.
And then where's the side of good? Good versus evil is one-sided. Where are the good? Yeah, like we haven't seen any other gods. Are there good gods, I wonder, or are they all kind of this selfish, like Greek version of gods?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, there must be like a god of like the day. Or like other gods, but
yeah.
Don't know.
Oh, JH has a great question. Do you think Addie stopped being human and is now a god?
No, I don't know, because the other people that he cursed didn't become gods.
Yeah.
Before they died. So
I think she's beyond human. She's a little different from human now, but I would say not a god because I don't think she doesn't have a whole lot of power of her own except to I guess she influences art a lot. Which was interesting. I think she calls herself a muse. He says, "Oh, we're the same." And I can't remember what she calls Luke, but she calls herself a muse.
Yeah.
I don't remember what she calls Luke.
I think he calls himself a patron.
Yeah, a patron of the arts or something.
Yeah.
And she says, "No, you're something else." I can't remember.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah. Yeah, I like that. I also would say that she is more than a human, but less than a god. Because I think she's still at the mercy of gods.
Yeah. What do you think the significance of her freckles actually is? Because I know like she was told it would be the 7 great loves of her life or something. And I just.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, there might be something more to that.
Are the freckles, do you think the freckles really have any significance? Because
to be honest, I just thought of it as like I just thought of it as like not like other girls, like so unique kind of like thing.
Yeah.
Just another thing to make her like unique and quirky.
She could never get married and live like Isabel. Stupid Isabel.
Yeah. Okay, another one of the things that annoyed me about this book. She's lived 300 years and doesn't seem to have left Europe or the Americas.
No.
Like, where's Asia? Where's Africa?
No.
Where's anywhere else? And she like knows all of these languages, but all these European languages, but doesn't know Mandarin or Arabic or
It's funny because I was looking at Goodreads reviews, and that was like one of the chief complaints people had is that the book was very white. Which, I mean, like, she's a white person. It's going to be through that lens, and it's her story. So I'm fine with that. But, what was I going to say? But yeah, she didn't go anywhere outside of Europe or America.
Yeah.
Huh?
And even then the places that she loves is like Paris, London, New York. Like
Yeah.
you lived 300 years, you should know the good spots. Like, you know,
Right.
like, oh, everyone loves Paris and London, New York. Like, yeah, well, yeah, probably like everyone does. But give me something more. Like,
Yeah, there's gotta be
give me
these
some more.
little hidden
Yeah.
gems, you know?
Yeah, there wasn't enough like travel content for me.
You want a second book all about her travel.
Yeah.
I was okay with the lack of like travel and even the lack of other countries. I kind of like in my head attributed it to the fact that she kept kind of getting drawn back to Vion Saint-Sart. And it just
Yeah.
seems like she was very much drawn to home a lot and
Yeah.
familiarity. So I think maybe staying in Europe and America would be less of a culture shock. Maybe in the next 300 years, she'll feel adventurous enough to go to China.
Maybe. Yeah, and I know also it is because she's just like moving very slowly. Like I think that she didn't leave France for like the first 100 years or something,
Yeah.
and then she
Hmm.
went to Italy, and then she
And it was
went,
only because Luke
and
brought
then
her.
yeah, and then she went to like the US on the she got the boat to the US during the war. So I guess it's also she's just she has to save us. She's got eternity, so she's savoring the stuff and
Yeah,
like
maybe
she'll
that's it.
get around to it later.
Hmm.
But also like stuff changes. If you go to it now, then you can go back to it in 100 years because it'll be
Right?
different.
It'll be all
I
different.
don't think she's not using her time. She's not using her time right. She
She's
needs a bit more
not.
Henry.
Henry's using his time terribly. Oh my God, I had a whole plan if I was Henry.
Poor Henry. He knows he's got like a year left to live, and yet he's still like working 6 days a week in his bookshop. Like,
He's
honey,
just,
he's
he's
too
just,
scared to adopt a cat. Like, who cares? You've got a year to
oh,
live. Do stuff.
Henry. Yeah. Let me read let me go to the
Yeah.
comments and then maybe we'll get on Henry. Um, do you think Luke was bound by Addie's deal, forced to help her be free, like when he took her to Florence and showed her a world beyond France? I didn't think
Interesting.
so until you said that. And then that's a really good
Yeah.
point because that was I want to be free was part of
Yeah, that was
her.
part of the deal.
Hmm. And he freed her from the
And
Nazis.
he freed her from the Nazis. He comes back when she needs him.
Hmm. And I, I did think for a while, oh, maybe it's because he cares about her, but maybe it is because he's bound, like, to have to help her be
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. Because otherwise, why would he show her new places? Because it's not in his interest to show her that there's new stuff
It's
to do.
not. He did make that weird remark of, I want to be the one that breaks you. And it's just like, maybe that's it. I,
Yeah.
I also think I think he watched her a lot, like a lot. And he probably wanted to see what she would do next. I think he was intrigued.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is getting
Yeah.
boring. Let's bring her to a new setting and see
Yeah. See
what
what
she
she
does here.
does. Yeah. How long do you think you could go living a life like Addie, being invisible and forgettable?
Like a day.
Yeah. I don't think I would enjoy my
No.
time.
I would make it like a day and then be like, okay,
Yeah. And
you
I'm
can
also
take
not
it.
like, I'm not spiteful enough to like keep it going
Mm-mm.
just to screw over Luke. I'm like, nah, I don't care that
No,
much.
no. Actually, I really am curious about what the chat thinks about that. That's a great question. So I'm going to
Yeah,
make a
that is a good
poll.
question.
How long do you think you'd last? Which should the categories be? What do you think
um,
the choices should be? Or,
like,
I don't have to do it as a poll. Guys in the chat, just
yeah,
how
everyone
long
could
do you
just
think
say,
you last?
yeah,
And we might be lagging, so it might take a moment, but yeah, I wouldn't last very long. But
no,
with Henry's deal, I'd probably use it like I'm gonna get on a watch list. I'd use it in like a vigilante way, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, okay, maybe this question. Would you rather have Henry's deal or Addie's?
Henry's. For sure,
Yeah?
Henry's. Yeah.
I think Henry's. Okay, so this is a question. Whose deal do you think is lonelier, Henry's or Addie's?
Ooh.
I think Henry's deal is lonelier than Addie's.
I think you might be right. Because nobody sees him. Uh,
No.
I think B
People see Addie very briefly,
B
but
kind of does because he kind of has molded himself into being a great friend for her
yeah. And because she loved him before,
before.
like she
Yeah.
already loved him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
yeah.
Yeah, because at least like people see Addie temporarily, and then Addie will always have Luke. So there's
Yeah.
something, you know?
Yeah. She's got like little games going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess either way, I probably wouldn't last, but I'd probably take Henry's because at least then you can still be with the people that cared about you before. It's just a little
Yeah.
manipulated.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think I would prefer Addie's.
Really?
Yeah. And if it
Really?
also like, yeah, I don't know. Sorry,
But
this is
then,
me
but then
knocking
maybe you
things
would make
over.
it longer for with Addie's. Maybe you would make it longer than a day.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I
if
think
you
it would be like
prefer Addie's,
very frustrating. It would be very
hmm
frustrating. But yeah, actually, I take it back. I could last for, I don't know, probably like 50 years at least.
I just feel like you'd be living on the street. Like,
Yep, no, but also, like, I don't know why Addie is always living on the street. I'm like, she can book a hotel. Like,
she can't though. They don't
why
remember
can't she
her
book a
because they
hotel?
don't remember she does
But if
try to
she has a
do.
key card, so I know that didn't work in the olden days, but
Oh,
like
yeah, maybe.
nowadays that would work. Although I know she always loses her stuff, so she might lose the key
Yeah,
card.
I feel like she can't because they'd come in and they'd kick her right out. Like,
But
I don't know
nowadays
now.
stuff like would be written down, so then oh
They
yeah.
can't write
But so
anything
then
down.
no, but like, the receptionist like
Mm-hmm.
would be like, okay, room 503 or whatever. And then later then he'd be like, oh, like I don't remember checking anyone in, but I wrote it down, so there must be someone there. And she's got a key card.
I think it would disappear as soon as she leaves. Remember, like anything she does, it like if they
But if
write
other people write
something,
it down for her, then it stays like Henry, like it stays with Henry.
well, it
See,
stays
there's
with
too many ins and the
Henry.
outs of the curse. I guess it
Yeah.
depends. I think that Addie was living on the street a lot more than she like needed to be. I feel like she could have been a lot cleverer. This is very arrogant of me because I feel like I could I feel like I could do this no problem.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. I do feel like she was suffering a lot more than she needed to be.
And she was always starving. Like, I
Yeah, she
get
was
that.
always starving.
Was that part of her curse that she would just be hungry all the time? Like, I don't understand why she was always hungry. That doesn't make sense.
Well, no. I mean, I think that she was like, because she doesn't stay full, does she?
No, she doesn't. And she can't really get drunk.
No. So I think that she just like reverts back to the state that she was in when she made the deal.
Hey, she
And
was
when she made
hungry.
the deal, she was hungry.
I think so too.
There's also this
Oh,
other thing about the she's not like making the most of it. You should be eating like so much food because you can't gain
right?
any weight. Why is she not
Uh-huh.
just like shoveling chocolates into her face all the
And you
time?
can steal anything you want. You could have all the food that you want. Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. Why? Yeah. I think that it took her a long time to like work out how to utilize the curse.
He also made the curse very confusing though. There's all kinds of little weird like
Yeah, the whole thing
loopholes
about
and
like losing stuff and not being able to write anything or speak her name, like that was never in the deal.
mm-mm.
Like And he's like, oh, you said you wanted to be free. I'm like, that is a big stretch, Luke. That's a big stretch.
He's a real jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is really like, look, you got what you wanted. Like, no, who said anything about not being able to write my name?
Right? But also I kind of love Luke at the same time.
He's tricksy.
He is. And he's supposed to be very cute. So like,
Yeah. Does your copy of the book have illustrations?
it's supposed to, but I don't so I didn't actually read this book. I received
yeah.
I received this today and I listened to the audiobook.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me see. It's supposed to, oh, yours has good ones.
Yeah, mine does have illustrations. It's got like, I don't know if you can see, but it's got,
Ooh.
so I had a picture of everyone in my head from like the first. I love the style. Like it's so,
Ooh.
I don't know, like young adult, but like in the best like nostalgic kind of way.
I don't have any art in here and it's supposed to.
Oh.
Well, I guess not. Weird. Your book is superior.
Yeah, this is the illustrated anniversary edition.
Very nice. Oh, Agent Marco has a very good comment. It really bothered me that she was able to plant the tree over Estelle's grave, but couldn't make footsteps in the snow. Right? Like,
yeah, very true.
I think that maybe that was Luke being kind to her. Maybe.
Oh, do you think?
I don't know. Because then he came back when the tree was ruined and he actually comforted her.
Because he's a babe. But I feel like there was another. Sorry. What a babe.
He is a little bit. I mean, he's a piece of crap, but listen, I've dated worse.
Yeah. I feel like about the gardening stuff, I feel like there was another bit in the book where she was like gardening, like growing some stuff.
Well, she was always talking about like Estelle's garden too. Like,
yeah, I feel like there was a part in the book where she was like growing. Oh, maybe she was just, I don't know. But yeah, so if she can like plant
no,
stuff.
she was. I think she got herself like a little shack or something, and she had been growing things. I think you're right.
Then also, if you can plant stuff, why don't you like? So she does not have enough hobbies. Like, all she does is read. Why are you not like the best person at doing origami in the world by now? Because you could be. Or like growing like I don't know, like bonsai trees and stuff like that. Or like why don't you have like a massive like orchid collection? Okay,
she was
not
too
like
busy reading and learning languages.
Like, yeah, but you can only do that like for so long.
I know.
Like, get some other hobbies too. Yeah, she doesn't have enough hobbies for my liking. Whereas, although maybe I don't know, because she can't make stuff, can she? So
yeah, that's
maybe
why
she
I'm wondering.
couldn't
Like,
crochet.
yeah, I don't
Do you
think
think she could make origami?
I don't think she could. I think it would unfold itself.
But she could play instruments. Because she
Would they
played the
make
piano,
sound?
didn't she?
Oh yes, because she was able to give that melody to Toby.
No, yeah, she was playing the piano when he woke up, so she can play instruments. So why aren't you in a band? Okay, well, obviously she can't be in a band, but like
she could be going to open mic nights and stuff.
She could be going to open mic nights. She could like play like really weird instruments. Like she could play the didgeridoo.
She could.
Yeah.
She could, or the terrapin. Is that how you say it? The one that you play with your hands?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Terrapin or terrapin or something? Theremin. Is that it?
Theremin. I think it's a theremin. Yeah, why don't you just do like weird
theremin.
stuff? What else could she do? She could like, I don't know. Do you think she could do her makeup?
I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing she's naturally beautiful because, like,
Yeah.
no, she could definitely do her makeup because she can do her hair. So I feel like she can do her makeup. She just can't
Mm.
cut her hair, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but she can put it
Probably.
up. So I think
Yeah.
she can do stuff that's
So she could do
temporary.
like, but then if you could do your like, where does it end? Because if you can do like normal makeup, then you could do really like artistic makeup. And then, but I guess if it's temporary, then you could do it on other people. And that could be you could, you could paint people's faces on the street for money.
I don't think she can leave a mark. So as soon as they leave her, it goes away. But then still, you would have your money and they wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could be a street performer.
She could be a street performer. She could like juggle. She could
Hmm.
tightrope walk. She could do all of like the circusy stuff, all of the circusy skills she could learn.
Right
And she doesn't
then?
have to be scared of dying, so she could like
Hmm.
do. Oh yeah, I wonder if she's ever like jumped from a building to see what would happen. I know that she would still feel the pain.
Yeah. I feel like I would
So
after a while.
you're
Like,
300 years,
yeah,
like
I'm gonna jump off a roof today.
yeah, or at least like a really tall bridge, because you wouldn't like.
I mean, see, these are the questions I would have asked in my time with Luke. I'd be like, what would happen? What would happen if I lit myself on fire?
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions for B.E. Schwab
Yes.
that have been left unanswered.
Hmm. Marco says there's a part of the story where she went to a makeup shop and someone did her makeup for her.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
true.
Not sure if she could do it herself. Yeah, we don't know. But I feel like if
Yeah,
somebody can do it for her, she could probably put makeup on herself.
yeah. Yeah, the ins and outs of the curse are interesting. Like, she couldn't poison someone's glass directly, but if she put poison in the wine and they poured the wine for themselves,
Right.
then that would work. And she can't light a fire, but she can move a fire.
Mm,
So
that's
then I wonder
right.
if she could like flicker a lighter, because is she making that fire or is the lighter making the fire?
Yeah, I don't know. And then all of this contradicts the fact that she moved that yew tree or the tree over
Yeah, that she
Estelle's
can
grave.
plant a tree.
I mean, I guess she could maybe garden. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but planting a tree is a massive mark. Like it's like, oh, you can't leave any marks, but like it's a
Yeah.
massive tree. I hadn't thought about the tree thing before, and I'm gonna say now it's really gonna annoy me. I have to say.
So
That's
another
an
thing is
excellent
like
point.
she can't she can't break something, but she can eat food, which to me doesn't make sense either because you're still destroying something. Like she can't break a
Yeah.
plate, but she could eat a cake.
Could she eat a plate?
That's a really good
Like,
question.
you know, could she and can she hurt other people like physically?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
So
Like,
that's
I
a
feel like maybe she can. They just don't remember her. And they're like, how the heck? Why am I bleeding?
how
I
do I get
don't
this
know.
bruise?
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that she can because she's been in like fights and stuff.
Marco says, I think for how hard and tricky of a narrative device it was, the author did a decent job.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I really do, because I would not even be able to begin to wrap my head around writing
Yeah.
this book.
Yeah. And it's a fantasy book. There's gonna
It is.
be
It is.
there's gonna be things that you didn't get.
So, Henry, um, I just have a hard time believing that Henry's going to be okay now because Henry has a lot going on in his head
Henry's got a
aside
lot
from
of
the curse.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just
The
like
curse is
supposed
really the
to
least of his worries. Like
really, yeah, 1,000%. Like he was
he
going to
was not doing
commit,
well before that.
yeah, no. And I just don't feel like he would do great afterwards either. Like he's lost Addie And now she's like stuck with this weird being that she's not in love with because she saved him. Like the guilt.
He doesn't know that like it's all a ruse for her and that she's fine. Like, because also I thought that Addie was dead. I thought that she was gone. Or like I thought that she had surrendered her soul. Like until we got her voice at the end. But so he doesn't know that she's like doing fine, just like looking at her book in Paris or wherever they are at the end of the book. I think it's, or it's London. Anyway.
I can't remember where they were either.
But yeah, so he doesn't know that she's fine. He's going to be beating himself up about this because obviously he will be. And he's such a sensitive little soul. It's going to tear him apart.
Like he had a lot of genuine like bad mental health issues.
Yeah.
And it seemed like substance abuse and stuff. And that stuff doesn't just go away with a life-changing event, you know?
Yeah. And now he's going to have the added like life difficulty of people not liking him again.
Yes.
Also, though, do you think that like for Robbie and Bea, I
think it's how it was pronounced in the audiobook.
I think as in Beatrice in my head.
Yeah, it's short for Beatrice, I think, so it would just be B.
Do you think that they just like wake up one day and they're like, God, Henry's actually so annoying. God, Henry's the worst. Why was I so obsessed with him yesterday?
I feel like Robbie did for sure. Ew. I threw myself at that for like a year.
Literally. I'm in love with this guy. Gross. I did enjoy the like the bisexuality of everyone and how that it wasn't like it wasn't a big deal for anyone.
I liked that too. Especially because like it's an artist community, you know, they're gonna be like that more so, you know?
Yeah.
And Addie too, she was always very much like a free spirit. It would make sense that she would
and also if you're living 300 years, you're gonna
might as well try it.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. And I did enjoy the whole like idea of like being in the artist circles and being a muse and I enjoyed that little fantasy.
I liked it too. Marco says, I didn't like the last chapter at the bookshop. How'd you feel about it? I actually liked it because it showed us it was closure for me. It showed us Addie was still there, and
I liked the thing, like I liked the very end with like Luke and like, you know, that closure. I didn't like the book. Like the Henry writing the book, the fact that like that book is like this book, you know, like I'm like, I see what you're doing there. Calling it The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Like I didn't love that. And I was also
too
like,
thought it was a
he's
little
not
too...
a writer. I was also like,
maybe it was really her words and he just wrote them down is kind of what I thought.
Which I think is what happened. But then he still edited it because it was like 6 notebooks and he said that he just finished the manuscript. So he must have like edited it and changed it a lot, like quite a bit.
Right.
So I didn't like that. I didn't love that.
I think I might have been more okay with it if it wasn't called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Same.
I think if it had been like, I don't know, My Life as a Ghost by Addie LaRue or something like that, I would have been more okay with it.
Yeah, why didn't he say like that I'm going to write this under a pen name? Yeah, or say that I'm going to write this under a pen name and I want my pen name to be Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
Why didn't he?
I mean, it's one thing for the author not to put their name on it. Like, that's good enough, I guess, but go a step further, put her name on it. Like, she's the author.
And then it's like she actually has created something, like, which is all she's wanted to do.
Like, he was so close, but still, he's just not enough. Henry, you're not. That was mean. Sorry, Henry.
That was mean. I'm gonna tell Henry you said that.
Please don't. He can't take it. He can't take the.
He actually can't. Yeah, I also would have minded less if it wasn't called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to the front of the book to be like, is the author's name on it? And of course it is.
It is, and I didn't want it to be. I
no,
really didn't.
And then I was like,
you jerk. Come on, V. Schwab.
Yeah.
Commit to
you
the
copped
bit.
out. Like, exactly, commit to it. If you're going to do it, commit to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Henry says Henry may be a one-hit wonder. I don't think he could be a serial author. 1000%. This is Henry's only book, and that's okay.
Yeah. So that sounds like it's going to be a bestseller, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Marco said the same thing you did. It's funny because they make a point saying the book had no author, but my actual book had a massive signature on it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like look at yours. It comes first.
It's the biggest thing. And then Addie LaRue is small. Like, at least put it like teeny tiny in the bottom. Like,
especially for the special edition. If anything, for the special edition, like it should just be that, and then leave the rest of it off.
Yeah, and like on the spine.
Oh, come on, that's pathetic. That mine actually is a tiny bit better on the spine, but it still has V. Schwab right there.
Yeah. Try harder, V. Schwab.
But also very good book. We loved it.
But also thank you for this gift.
But here are, as non-writers, these are our criticisms of you.
I love that we're like, this is a 5-star book, and then we spend the next hour slating it and talking shit about it.
It's so funny. But really, she's clearly a very talented author. And
yeah. And I would definitely read other books that she's written.
So I would, but I actually try to look up other books she's written, and this seems like a very different style from her usual.
It seems like more fantasy, right?
Because I feel like her other stuff all seemed like, I can't remember what it was, but it didn't seem like this. Let me see.
Yeah, I've just got the titles here. But The Near Witch, Vicious, Vengeful, This Savage Song, Our Dark Duet, The Archived, The Unbound, A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, A Conjuring of Light.
Oh, maybe they are all similar type stuff then. Oh, A Darker Shade of Magic looks like it's really popular.
Oh, yeah?
And it's an adult fantasy novel. Huh.
Do you like fantasy novels?
I do. I do. Yes and no. Like, I read all of Game of Thrones. I liked that, but I couldn't read Lord of the Rings.
You like it if there's smut.
Yeah, I like it if there's smut or violence.
Yeah, same.
Wait. So have you read A Court of Thorns and Roses yet?
No, I will. I watched your New Year's resolutions life coach, and I was like, okay, fine. Life coach, I'm persuaded.
So we should do that for a book club, because that's a good one. So whenever you're in the mood to read that one, we can make that our book club book, because I want to discuss it so badly.
Okay, great. Yes. It's a series, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm about to start the third one, but I will be very careful not to give spoilers for anything beyond the first one.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because I hate that. I hate it when things are ruined. I'm going to try to finish the series before we do the book club, just in case anybody tries to like be mean about it.
Yes, okay. Yeah, you don't want it to get ruined.
No, I'm really worried it's going to get spoiled.
Yeah. I was going to add this to Goodreads, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to read like any reviews just yet.
I didn't either.
Because I don't want it to get ruined.
All I read was the blurb, and I was like, sounds good. We'll stick with that. Yeah. All right. So I guess
it was a good book for the start of the year.
I know it was, even though it like made me really depressed.
It's made me think about life. But we have to just like take the good things from it, you know? We have to take like Addie's thirst for new experiences and Henry's mortality and like find some happy
The
middle
middle ground.
ground.
There's a middle ground there somewhere. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get my laptop charger.
It's okay. We spent an hour, so we can start closing out
Yeah, it's time to
anyway.
kind of wind down, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, yeah, so we'll talk maybe about ideas for the next book. Um, yeah. Does anybody have any final comments they want to make? If you're
Comments,
very close to
questions?
your laptop dying and you want to grab your charger, you can. I didn't mean to tell you you can't.
No, no, it's fine. But also, if I leave randomly, you'll know what's
I
happened.
will. I'll figure it out. Marco says, I'm still thinking about the word palimpsest because the author used it 80 times.
Oh
Yes. Oh,
yeah,
I got so tired of that. I'm
palimpsest.
like, somebody learns an
Palimpsest.
SAT word and we're gonna hear it for
Also,
the whole book.
I always do this, but I like skipped over the meaning when she first said it because I was like, well, I don't know, I can't be bothered to learn a new word, blah blah blah, skim read, and then she said it like a bunch more times, and I was like, fuck, I have no idea what this means.
Did you ever look it up?
No, I was like, it's too late now.
I think it's like when something is layered over something else or something like inside of something else. Now I have to
Yeah,
like actually look up the real definition because it's gonna
I
bother
thought it
me.
was um like when you return to a place that you've been before, but it's changed.
So I think she uses it in that context, but it's not quite what it means. It's a manuscript or piece of writing material on which the
Oh.
original writing has been effaced to make room for later writing, but of which traces remain.
Oh, interesting. That's a
It's
that's a good
confusing.
word for
Yeah.
the for Scrabble.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you ever have enough letters for palimpsest.
No. That'd be a good word for when I want to show off in some
Right.
context.
Mm-hmm. Um, we're getting some suggestions for book club books in the chat, so I'll write those down as well.
Lovely.
Thank you guys. But thank you for joining us. Thank you, Eliza, for hanging out with me. I always
Thank
have
you
so
for
much
having
fun.
me. Same.
Um, yeah, I really liked this book. I'm happy I have it in hard copy because
Yeah, me
then I can
too.
keep it on my little shelf.
Yeah, exactly. And you can loan it out to friends.
I don't have any friends.
You can
If you had
just
friends,
hold it, you know.
I'll keep it. I'm gonna land it to my cats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, give it to Cooper.
Oh, he would eat it. All right. Well, all right. We'll figure out. I'll take down the suggestions that you guys are writing for book club, and we'll be in touch soon with a poll or something. Mhm.
Yes.
All right. Any final words, Eliza? Nope.
Nope,
Okay.
just thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for everybody who participated in the chat and read the book. Um, thank you, Marco. I know this was your first one, so thank you so much for
Oh,
joining and
hi.
for participating. Marco says, first one, but I will be back. So,
Nice.
and then Kent, our MVP, and JH, who are here very frequently. And if everybody else who participated, thank you. I tend to ramble at the end, so I'll just cut myself off now.
I hate finishing videos. It's the most awkward thing. I'm like, okay, bye.
I just keep
It's
going and
finished
going.
now.
Kent says, any other events coming up? Well, Eliza just posted a video 2 hours ago. So, or it'd be like 3 or 4 hours ago now,
Yeah,
but
a
it's
few hours
very,
ago.
very good. I
Thanks,
I
Ada.
only got to see the
Such a
start of
such
it,
a
but I already
such a
really, really liked
fan.
it. It was
Like
so
I'm quite happy with it. It's a
it's
bit of a
very
silly one,
clever.
so
It's really
watch it
clever.
if you want to see.
So check out
You
Eliza's
can
video
find
she just
out.
posted. Yeah. And I'll have a new video coming Monday, I believe, but
Okay.
no other events planned as of right now. Yep.
Same.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you again, Eliza.
Bye. Thanks, guys.